Twin Chef LCD. This machine combines two machines together. The batch freezer in the lower part and a cream cooker in the upper. Not a simple cream cooker though, because there is a glycol inside, and this liquid allows a bain-marie system, unlike other machines. It therefore gives us a very soft cooking of pastry cream, making it truly unique. But it doesn't make just cream, it also does so many other preparations. Today we'll do a preparation, meaning that in the upper tank we will make pastry cream, and we'll also see how to use all the customized programs and more. Then we will combine the pastry cream that can be used both for pastry and for gelato, together with a gelato mix, in this case a white base. Now let's move to the first preparation, the pastry cream. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. There are only 5 ingredients, but even if it is known all over the world, only a few know how to make pastry cream really well. The first step is to carefully mix sugar with yolk. Pay attention. Now we'll start making it. This step really needs to be done this way. First, you put the yolk, in this case, a high-quality super yellow yolk, and once you have put the yolk in, we add the sugar. This is a very important step. As soon as you've added sugar, you have to immediately stir the mixture. Otherwise, the sugar would basically cook the yolk, creating lumps that would never go away. After that, once everything has been stirred, you'll have no more problems. It can rest here and you won't have any lump problems. Now, let's take some rice starch. Why do we use rice starch? Because there are only 3 ingredients able to solidify, to thicken the pastry cream. In addition to the yolk, there's rice starch, cornstarch, or flour. What's the difference? Rice starch feels so much smoother in your mouth, and it dissolves easily. Cornstarch is much more gelatinous, and flour stays lumpy. That's not good at all. So your best bet is to use 100% rice starch. We put a first amount of starch. We stir gently because now we have to incorporate these 2 ingredients that need to calmly mix up.
Unirsi con calma.
We put the rest of the starch and start beating it right in the middle, so that they blend a little at a time. Of course, along with sugar, we put a pinch of salt. Salt is very important because it enhances the flavors, as in any preparation. Okay, once it has mixed like this, stir vigorously. Here we go. This phase is very important. We could also use a machine for that, but in this case I wanted to show you the preparation from the beginning, and so we did it manually. Now there are 2 ingredients left. We're done with them. Now we are going to talk about the ingredient of which we need but a pinch. and yet it's the most important.
Questo
This is basically
è oro,
gold,
cioè
vanilla.
vaniglia. Qua io
I've used Madagascar vanilla.
per questa
For this recipe, with about 3.5 liters of milk,
basteranno 2 bacche.
2 vanilla beans will be enough.
Come si apre
How can you open this fruit?
Va prima
First,
col
you have to flatten it with the knife cheek so that it can be easily incised in the middle.
incidere al centro. Una volta
Once inside like this,
modo, lo apriamo
we open it at the top,
e
and with the
col palo
knife
del
cheek,
coltello lo
we
estraiamo.
start extracting.
Guardate, mischiamo
Let's
la
mix the
vaniglia
vanilla in.
Ricordate,
Remember that if pastry cream doesn't show these black dots, that means it was made with artificial aromas and there is no real vanilla inside.
ok,
Okay, at this point,
arrivati
we
a questo
take
punto,
the mixture
prendiamo
of
un
yolk,
composto di tuorlo,
sugar,
zucchero, amido
rice
di
starch,
sale,
salt and vanilla,
e
and we
vaniglia,
pour it in the
e
machine
andiamo a metterlo nella
together
macchina assieme
with the
al
milk.
latte. Apriamo
We
il
open the
coperchio
twin
superiore
chef's
della
upper
teglia.
lid.
Vi-
I'm extracting this part,
e dopo
and then
il
I'll explain to you its functions.
Come volete,
As you can
vedete,
see,
ha 4
it has
pali
4
fermo,
Teflon
che
scrapers with springs
vanno
that
ad
scrape
assare
on the
sempre
wall to make
i
sure
filati
that the
per fare in
mixing
modo
and
che sia
cooking
uniforme
of the compounds that we are going to put inside stays uniform.
dei composti che andiamo a mettere all'interno. Come accessorio
Another
c'è questa
accessory
pala che
is this
favorisce
one,
la miscelazione.
meant to help mixing. It's very simple. It must be stuck inside the vase.
Andiamo
Let's put it in the first part of the preparation, like this.
prendiamo
We
il
take the
latte,
milk,
lo versiamo
and we
a
pour it
filo
in,
per fare in modo
making
di
sure
ritirare
that we can
il
extract the vanilla
pezzo di
bits.
vaniglia. Prendiamo i
Let's
pezzi di
take the
vaniglia
vanilla bits
e dopo
out,
vedremo cosa fare.
and then we'll see what to do with them.
Di
It's
passare
time to move on to
alla
mixing
miscelazione
and
e
cooking.
cottura. Andiamo sul
We move to the menu,
e abbiamo
which
diversi
shows
parametri.
several parameters.
In questo
In this
caso,
case, we
a
are
noi
interested in
interessano
recipes.
ricette. All'interno
Inside
della
the machine, we
macchina
have
abbiamo
more
più
recipes
ricette
with
con
standard preparations.
base. Noi ci
We chose
affidiamo alla crema
pastry
pasticcera.
cream.
La macchina
The machine will
sarà
start
miscelare
mixing and cooking the
cuoce
pastry
la
cream,
crema pasticcera,
pasteurizing it
pastorizzando
at
a 80
85 degrees,
e la
and then
frapperà
it will automatically
automaticamente.
cool it down. In the meantime, we can make something else.
Quindi
So
facciamo
we
ok.
press OK. Here it reminds us the needed ingredients, yolks, plus sugar, plus starch we've previously prepared. Then it reminds us what we have to do. And now
E lei adesso
it's starting
inizia a
mixing.
mescolare per poi
Then it will
andare
move
in
to
cottura.
cooking.
La nostra
Our
crema
cream
è
has completely
completamente
cooled
raffreddata
down,
e siamo pronti
and we
a
are ready to
passare.
extract it. Okay,
vi mostro
I'm
come
going to show you a particular feature.
In questo
In
caso,
this case,
decido di
I've decided to let the
far
pastry
fuoriuscire
cream
il contenuto, in questo caso la crema pasticcera, la
come out from the side.
abbiamo questa
We have this
ghisa
ring
che ha un
that has a
po' di
narrow
specchio
hole
qui per
meant
i
for
liquidi,
liquids.
ma in quel caso
But in
qua
this case,
abbiamo
we
una
have a
preparazione
dense
dell'interno
preparation,
della crema pasticcera.
namely the pastry cream, and then we'll remove this part
Tirare via questa parte qui e
and
reinserire
reinsert the ring.
Siamo pronti.
We are ready for extraction.
Un'altra
Another very important thing after processing,
lavorazione. Giriamo
we
la
turn
bolla
the
verso
tap
l'alto, così
upwards so that not even a drop of cream will fall on the machine.
la spostiamo
We
sul
move it
banco
on the counter
per seguire la ricetta.
to move on with the recipe.
Come vedete,
As you can see, it's very shiny, super smooth. But at the same time, it's not liquid. This means that the machine has carried out its function to the maximum with bain-marie system cooking. A delicate but truly effective cooking form. As you can see, it's very full-bodied. What shall we do now? Let's take our gelato mix, a classic white base. Let's put 4 liters of mix with 2 kilos of this pastry cream. Of course, it can also be used in pastry to fill any brioche or whatnot. What's the benefit of it? That we are not going to make a special gelato mix. But it's very versatile because we can make both products for gelato shops and use it for other preparations. Okay, let's take the mix and let's add the pastry cream.
Ok.
Let's start mixing. You will see some small black dots in it. Those come from our fresh vanilla. Add a second part of pastry cream. And let's mix again. Now we can move to batch. We put our mix in the lower part where we find the batch cylinder. Okay, let's remove this. In this case, we do not need it because we'll mix straight away. And start the batch. Perfect. Here we are. The gelato is ready. Look at that overrun. It's a cloud. It's fantastic. This result is also given by the presence of egg yolk. Look, you see the texture. You can see how light it is. How good. And you can see that there is a lot of egg yolk inside because the pastry cream is so rich. Fantastic. Here we are. We are making another preparation with Twin Chef LCD. This machine allows you to make more preparations at the same time because these are 2 machines together. Above we have our cream cooker that we use for various preparations, and below we have the batch freezer. In this case, we will make a raspberry sauce, which we will use for the decoration or in a cup as a side. And at the same time, we will start producing our yogurt mix. We are producing the yogurt gelato at the very same time. Let's start first from the longest preparation that we're starting with, and that is the raspberry sauce. This sauce is completely natural. In fact, once produced, it must be kept in the refrigerator, covered with film or in an airtight container. You can even freeze it and then thaw it. In this case, then let's put the raspberry first, then the sugar, and finally the lemon that I've already squeezed. We'll do everything directly inside the machine. We'll put all the compounds together and start the pasteurization program at 85 degrees, and then we will cool it down. Let's put the raspberry in. The raspberry, in this case, being a sauce, has been blended and filtered, so it's free from the seeds. Then we have some granulated sugar. In this case, for 1 kilo of fruit, it takes about 300 grams of sugar, so not even 30%. Lemon juice that gives a little acidity and preserves both the color and the flavor. Now that we're done adding all the ingredients, let's go to program. We create a recipe, because with this machine you can do this too. And then we save it. We select 90 degrees. So we exceed the pasteurization temperature of 85 degrees, but we still keep all the characteristics of our sauce, because we're not going to boil it, because boiling takes place at around 100 degrees. The duration of this step is not defined, because the temperature reaches the set level and then drops. Okay. As regards the speed of the agitator, we can choose the speed we need. Let's press OK. Next step concerns the cooling phase of the compound. So, let's say we want the compound to go down 4 degrees. And it has to cool down at a constantly average speed, 3. We click OK and save our recipe. In this case, I will go to My Recipes, MM. So we have saved the recipe and we can proceed with the preparation. While our machine in the upper part is cooking the sauce and then cooling it, it allows us to batch the gelato in the lower part. Then we take our yogurt mix, insert it, and start the batch. Here it is. In this case, we always use the automatic program because it's optimal. Okay, the gelato is ready, so let's extract it. Now, let's go to the shock freezer. While the gelato is being beaten, we have reached 90 degrees, and the machine has started cooling, as we have set it to. We put the ice cream in the shock freezer, and in the meantime, the sauce is ready. As you can see, it's dense, and in this case, we will use it to decorate the gelato. If I can give you some advice, 1 gram of agar or pectin will thicken it more easily while keeping its properties. As you can see, the color has remained unchanged. It's very vivid. I wouldn't recommend mixing it, because we would break the texture of the sauce and it would become liquid again. Once cooked, do not stir it. Do not mix it. In case you can stir it by hand a little with a whisk or a spatula, but it is not necessary because it must keep its consistency. So, and you can do this by hand or in any way. Take the cookies and crumble them lightly. We've chosen corn biscuits that will stay crunchy. But you can do it with any type of biscuit. You see, you take them with your hand and crumble them. Do not use a mixer or anything else because they would crumble too much and become flour. We want them to be large and crunchy.
Grossi e croccanti.
You can also do it with a meat pounder.
Un pesta carne,
You can wrap them in a rag and beat them on a table, or you can beat them with a pan. But the best thing to make them large and crunchy is using your hands. That's perfect. As you can see, they must be some a little bigger, some a little smaller, at least on the cone or on the cup. They are important. You will feel this crunchiness in your mouth when tasting. No less than this, as a sort of a crumble. Okay, perfect. Now, let's go get our gelato from the shock freezer and start decorating it. Here is the gelato. We left it there for about 4 minutes, but I advise you, since we are going to decorate it, to leave it in a few minutes more in the shock freezer, because the more it stays in the shock freezer, therefore hardening on the outside, the more the decoration will stick, and we will do a more precise work. Otherwise, it would melt over. Then, let's start first with the biscuits, so that the sauce would soak the biscuits a little on top of the decoration. Okay. As you can see, after being in the shock freezer, the sauce sticks perfectly to the gelato, and the final result will be a completely natural and handmade variegation. It's really, really good. Here's the final result. Here we are with Twin Chef LCD. Today we have another recipe made of 3 steps. The hot process, then the fruit addition, and finally we'll start production in the lower part. All with the same machine. As you can see, the upper part is a cream cooker and pasteurizer. We then have a tap which takes the mix to the bottom. However, before starting, one very important thing. This machine has a tap that goes from the upper part to the lower part, which is completely autonomous. So it's not inside the vase and goes directly into the batch freezer. Being external means that we have no bacterial load risks because we can completely sanitize the whole extraction part that goes into the cylinder below. Then we open it and I'll show it to you. It's very simple. As you can see, all the pieces can be disassembled and can be easily washed, sanitized in the dishwasher. And this is very important, because inside we can sanitize anything. So, now let's close it. And let's start with our recipe. In this case, we have the pasteurization. As you can see, it says 85 degrees. This is an automatic cycle that will heat and cool our mix. This mix is made of water, granulated sugar, the neutral base, which is fundamental in gelato mix, and then sugar, dextrose, glucose, maltodextrin, and, as we said, the neutral base, which is of natural origin. In this case, it is made of carrot flour and agar-agar, and our first step is pouring the water in. But remember, this is very important. As in different parts of the world, but also in Italy, water is not the same everywhere. So use mineral water from a bottle or purified water. Never use tap water. Then granulated sugar, and finally, the neutral base with the various sugars. Be careful before putting them in the machine. It is advisable to mix them with a part of sugar so that this neutral base won't make lumps and will melt perfectly. We start the pasteurization by simply pushing a button. So now we'll wait for the machine to pasteurize, then we'll put the fruit in this case raspberry, and then we'll start the batch. We have finished the hot process of the mixture, and we've put the fruit in. Let the mix blend with the fruit for a minute. Then we will finish the pasteurization and we'll start the batch in the lower vase. Here we are to help us pouring the mix into the lower part, as you can see. As you can see, we have a ring that ensures that all the mix does not leak out. In complete safety and practicality, we can transfer the entire recipe directly to the lower part. Let's stop the upper part of the twin chef machine, and now let's start the batch. Perfect. The batch is done, and we can extract our gelato. Let's proceed with the extraction. Look how much it developed with only 6 liters. Now let's go to the shock freezer. The gelato is in the shock freezer, and in the meantime, we'll assemble all the preparations previously made with the twin chef. We have a raspberry sauce and a pastry cream. In the meantime, we have cooked a classic short crust tart, and we are going to compose this tart. We take the pastry cream and we fill the base with it. Then, a drop of sauce on top. And now we are going to cut the fruit. We have a berry mixture, so blueberries, raspberries, blackberries and strawberries. The first step to take when composing a fruit tart is this. It's very important starting from the largest fruit. In this case, our largest fruit is the strawberry. Then we are going to cut it into slices and into small pieces so that we can cover all the holes, because not even a hint of cream or sauce should be visible, and it must be rich in fruit. Let's start cutting the strawberries. Naturally, they've been previously washed. We'll make small rounds of them. Then, the smaller ones, because the strawberries are not all the same. In many months of the year, they are not in season, so some are large, some are small. They are not all the same. So, the smaller ones are cut in half. Then we proceed with the composition. Let's fill in the holes with blueberries. Then we put some blackberries and raspberries on top. Here's some jelly. We take a very simple silicone brush that does not incorporate the gelatin too much. We dip it in and start delicately touching on the fruit. So it doesn't have to be too much. It just has to give the fruit some gleam. Now we've finished this dessert. We'll have to serve it up. And as a first step, we start doing this. We put a small part here in the middle, and with a spoon, we create this decoration. Then we lay the fruit tart exactly on top of the sauce. We take a small part of crumble, in this case we've used some corn biscuits, which will be the bed for our raspberry sorbet canal that we've prepared earlier. Here is our gelato. We take a spoon dipped in boiling water and we work the gelato this way.
Lavoriamo il gelato.
And here it is. So we have our creamy gelato, our sauce, and our pastry cream. We only had to cook the short crust pastry tart separately. With all the preparations made with the Twin Chef LCD, we have created this fantastic dessert. And it is only a small part of what this machine can do.